Here are 3 key Enlightenment philosophers that you need to know about. Let's contextualize. Now remember, in Europe, after the Renaissance, there was a rebirth of learning. This is also facilitated by the printing press, and these early modern Europeans are all about challenging traditionally held sources of power because now they're increasingly literate and just have the ability to. This definitely plays out in the Protestant Reformation and the Scientific Revolution, but right now I'm talking about the Enlightenment. Scientists in the Scientific Revolution were all about trying to figure out the natural laws that dictate the cosmos. And Enlightenment philosophers during the Enlightenment were trying to figure out the natural laws that dictate humanity. Why do we act the way that we do? What do we owe to each other? How should we interact as a society? What moral principles and codes do we need to live by? English philosopher John Locke famously said it is the duty of the government to protect people's natural rights, which are life, liberty, and property. And if the government is not protecting those rights, it is the duty of the citizens to overthrow that government and establish a government that does protect them. This old Englishman is advocating for revolution, and boy, do we see that play out in the British colony in the Americas. And then also, in France, but that was a bit bloodier because of Voltaire. Now, Hobbs, also an Englishman, grew up during the English Civil War, which was very traumatic for people. Hobbs argued that in the state of nature, people living in a place outside of civilization, life would be solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. And because he witnessed the chaos and the bloodshed from the English Civil War, he said that absolute power is necessary in order to maintain order in society. The connection to this after the Warring States period in China with Shi Huangdi and legalism, it's the same idea. Also, in the frontispiece of his book Leviathan, the king is literally made up of the people, and he's holding a sword and a crozier. Semi-related, Watterson's masterpiece Calvin and Hobbes was not inspired by John Calvin and Thomas Hobbes, but he gave them these names to demonstrate their lasting importance in the philosophical and political world. Okay, lastly, we got Baron de Montesquieu, who in his book, In the Spirit of Laws, said that absolute power actually corrupts absolutely, and instead of that, we should have separation of powers, which in the United States led to 3 branches of government. Hope that helps.